3 years ago, we met Kelly Flynn, who lives with her family near Northampton, Massachusetts. Kelly was then 7, and one of her favorite walks, then and now, is through the woods to a nearby river.
I love the river.
Why?
Because the river.
Yeah. Can you hear it?
Really,
What about when you get your cochlear implant?
I got cochlear, but I will get that.
Yes.
Kelly had been profoundly deaf since she was 2. What little hearing she had, boosted by a conventional hearing aid, was worsening. She had no trouble communicating by sign, but for years, she'd wanted to talk.
Do you like to sign or do you like to talk?
I like to call. That's why I want cochlear to hear better.
To hear better. Why do you want to hear more?
Because I love to hear more. Because when I'm here, you call me, and I'm not here. I will look at our team.
Tomorrow is the day Kelly has been waiting for months.
You're going to go in the room in 1 minute. Mommy has to change her clothes, and I will go in with you.
It is just the beginning, but it's an exciting beginning, and in a way, a beginning of her hearing in a whole new way, which is very exciting, and she's most excited about it.
Good girl, Cal. She's so brave. She's great.
The surgery that's about to begin on Kelly will permanently implant a tiny set of electrodes deep within her inner ear.
Take good care of me. Thank you.
In a normal ear, sound vibrations are translated into nerve impulses by millions of tiny hair cells lining the inner wall of the pea-sized cochlea. Kelly went deaf when an infection destroyed these delicate hairs. A cochlear implant substitutes an array of tiny electrodes, 22 in Kelly's case, for the hairs of the hair cells, directly stimulating the cells to send their messages to the brain. Kelly's surgery is being done at Boston's Children's Hospital by Dr. Margaret Kinnaid.
What I'm doing now is drilling actually into the cochlea, and the bone of the cochlea is very hard bone, harder than the rest of the bone and the rest of the body. And as you go towards the center of the cochlea, it gets very white. So I'm going to have the 5 back. So now we have a hole in the cochlea. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, I see it
Yeah.
very clearly. The electrode array being slipped into Kelly's cochlea is attached to a receiver that is also implanted under the scalp. Both the electrodes and the receiver are connected in turn to an antenna and a magnet. The entire implanted system is visible in an X-ray taken while Kelly is still in the operating room.
This is the antenna here. This is the magnet. This is the receiver stimulator right here. And this is the wires, the electrodes in the cochlea. If you look really closely, you can almost count each individual electrode.
It'll take about 2 weeks for Kelly to recover from her surgery.
Hi. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, what are we doing today?
My cochlear bed will turn on.
We're turning on your cochlear implant. All right.
A wireless transmitter sticks to the magnet under Kelly's scalp.
Can you see?
From now on, this is how sounds will get to her brain. From the microphone behind her ear, via a computer that will process the sound into the signals sent to her cochlea. Right now, Kelly's microphone isn't on. These beeps are being fed into her cochlea directly. The cochlea normally responds to high-frequency sounds at one end, and low frequencies at the other. The electrodes in the implant mimic this process. Kelly has been asked to put a ring on the stick whenever she detects a sound.
Oops. Okay.
she told her friend that when she came back, maybe she'd be able to call her on the telephone. She's already exploring it in her mind. She's imagining the things that she might be able to do. And to her, hearing is a gift now. It's not like, you know, just being something that you're born with. It's something very special to her. So it's like Christmas. Right. Each sound is a present.
So far today, Kelly has only heard the beeps generated by Marilyn's computer. But now comes the moment Kelly has been waiting for. Her microphone is switched on. Now sounds from the room are able to enter her head.
Turn it over. Do you like the way that it sounds?
Yeah.
Is it really, really loud? Is it really loud? Or is it perfect?
Kelly gets her own little computer to turn the sounds picked up by the microphone behind her ear into the signals sent to her cochlea.
So just put it there and let the hair fall down over.
It's the sophistication of this sound processing, especially for the sounds of speech, that has in the last few years started to open up the world of hearing to profoundly deaf children.
Hello, hi.
To find out how and what lies ahead for Kelly, we're visiting a classroom for hearing-impaired children, where my job is to read a story.
It isn't fair that my brother Anthony has $2.75 and 1 dime and 7 nickels and 18 pennies.
The room is equipped with a sound system so that the voice of teachers or guests is kept at a constant level.
Here he is thinking about all the things.
Some of the children here have conventional hearing aids.
Instead of bus tokens, because you can't buy.
Several, including 6-year-old Timmy, have cochlear implants.
Timmy, do you like money?
I like lots and lots of money.
Lots of money. Here he is thinking about all the things.
Those of us without cochlear implants can never know exactly how they sound to children like Timmy. But here's a guess.
So they brought lox because my father likes to eat lox. And they brought plants because my mother likes to grow plants.
You've been there before, remember?
Like the children in the classroom, Kelly now faced many hours of hard work, both to decipher the sounds created by her cochlear implant, and even tougher, learning how to speak herself after years of having few clues as to how her speech should sound. Meanwhile, she can finally hear her river.
Lizzie McGuire, you watched that.
3 years after her implant, we met with Kelly again, along with Marilyn Nolt, who first turned on her hearing.
Do you remember the day that we were filming and your cochlear implant device got turned on for the first time?
Yeah.
What was that like?
I was a camera shy eagle. I felt like a star where I always want to be.
What kind of a star do you want to be? What do you think?
I want to be an actress.
Yeah? Has Kelly already become a star from this program? Do people know her face and everything?
Well, for the first couple of years, and it's been 3 years now, you would come and sit in our waiting room waiting for an appointment with me, and families would come up to you and say, "You're the girl who was on the Alan Alda show. You were on Scientific American Frontiers." And they would tell you and your parents that the show had a big effect on them. It gave them confidence to get a cochlear implant for their child.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's
it happened
great.
several times.
I mean, you know what's great? It's better than being a star is being able to be helpful to people like that. I think that's terrific. How young can a child be and get a cochlear implant?
Well, that's an interesting question. The Food and Drug Administration approves cochlear implantation beginning at age 12 months.
What effect does that have on their ability to produce speech, the kind of speech that most of us are used to hearing?
We used to be thrilled if a deaf child developed 6 months' worth of language in a year's time. And now we see them developing a year's worth of language in a year's time, or sometimes more.
Yeah.
And we see 2- and 3-year-olds who have had their implant for a year or two who have spoken language development that's really within the normal range. They don't have to be behind anymore. It's changed everything.
Does Kelly speak differently now that she has the cochlear implant?
I can remember after the implant, picking her up at Clark School, probably 6 months after the implant, and she had gone on a field trip to Plymouth. And I was always familiar with driving, I should say this, driving with my knee and signing to her in the car, and then getting that from her. So this time it was dark, and suddenly we were talking about the field trip.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives me goosebumps now, because it was a conversation in a way that we never could have had before.
Can you hear that plane?
I hear a lot of planes during softball. And when my coach is talking, when he's telling us what to do, I keep hearing planes go by, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all I could see, yeah, I could, like, there's a bee in their mouth.
Yeah. That's good.